Welcome to The Gavel, your weekly Denver City Council wrap-up. Here's what happened this week. On Tuesday, May 9th, the Land Use, Transportation, and Infrastructure Committee sent to the full City Council a request to designate La Raza Park as a district for preservation. The park, located in Council District 1, was the first municipally owned park in the city. City planners focused on the park's Latino historical context as rationale for the designation. During the process, it was found that the park has direct associations with historical events and social movements, represents an established and familiar feature of the neighborhood, and has physical attributes that is a neighborhood source of pride or cultural understanding.
For 50 years, community leaders and activists advocated for the name change to the park. However, in this summer of 2020, Councilwoman Sandoval and other colleagues initiated the official renaming of the park to La Raza Park. Given the importance of the Latino Chicano community to the park and its historical and cultural significance, Landmark staff believes that it's appropriate to end the period of significance with a community celebration that renamed the park after 50 years of struggle.
The landmark designation won't change the way the public uses the park and doesn't prevent any future structural changes. The bill will move on to full City Council with the opportunity for public comment.
Just want to go on record to say that this is one of the first historic designations that was written with community input. And so this is the first attempt to make sure that our stories are told from our lens, not from mainstream media lens, saying we were agitators. We were those people walking out of high schools. We were those people walking out of high schools because we weren't given the same rights as Latinos as other people in our country. And so this park is at the highlight of the Chicano movement.
Also on Tuesday, May 9th, the Finance and Governance Committee heard a presentation from the Department of Finance on updates to the American Rescue Plan Act. The City and County of Denver will receive $308 million to be used for local business support, public health expenditures, infrastructure, and pay for essential workers. The committee has sent to the full City Council a request to allocate some of these funds, which must be used up by the end of 2026. $3.2 million will go to the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. That money will be used to continue to provide rent and utility assistance. $2.5 million will be spent to fund the MySpark out of school time. The MySpark program supports fee-based learning enrichment, sports programs, and other after-school activities for Denver children and families. $2.9 million will go to renovations for homeless shelters.
These dollars are specifically for the facility, for resiliency of the facilities themselves. So where there are vulnerabilities in, let's say, an HVAC system, where heating coil that goes out could jeopardize our ability to shelter 300 people at night. These are really facility improvements.
The City of Denver will also appropriate $3.7 million to the Affordable Housing Property Tax Revenue Fund. On Wednesday, May 10th, the Safety, Housing, and Homelessness Committee heard a presentation from the Denver Animal Protection on ordinance rules. Denver Animal Protection has seen confusion after the last ordinance update in 2018. Courts and civilians saw conflicts between the new ordinances and historical ordinances. In response, the agency is addressing these issues by adding language for clarity and addressing the conflicts.
Here's what we propose in this current round of revisions. We restructured some ordinances and moved them or merged them where appropriate to increase the readability of the chapter. We mirrored language where appropriate with Colorado revised statutes around commonly used terminology. We better defined terminology that was undefined or where vague language was used. And we streamlined the court and administrative process for county courts, pet owners, and city officials.
Civilians will now have a process to appeal decisions made by Animal Protection and be able to self-administer rabies vaccinations if under the supervision of a veterinarian. If an animal is considered potentially dangerous outside of Denver's Animal Control's jurisdiction, it will now be considered dangerous in the city and county as well. Other changes include the disposal of animal waste, changes to the language on cruelty to animals, and the neglect of animals to be better understood by the general population. Pet owners will have the opportunity for a hearing on the cost of impoundment and outlined owner right and court processes when an animal has been impounded.
Our goal with these revisions is to clear up areas of the chapter that were not clear since the 2018 revisions, or that were never made clear in the first place. Additionally, they clearly codified rights of the pet owner, the authority of the courts, and the process for animal protection.
Also this week, City Council has passed updated codes on curbside parking, issuing new rules on how long a vehicle can stay parked, commercial vehicle parking curbside, and clarifies the definition of a junker vehicle and how long it can stay parked. The Business Arts, Workforce, and Aviation Services Committee sent to the full City Council a plan to adopt licenses for secure transportation services. The service provides non-emergency rides to behavioral health facilities for individuals experiencing a crisis. Want more information on City Council, including weekly schedules and agendas? Visit denvergov.org/City Council. Denver City Council meets every Monday at 3:30 at the City and County Building Council Chambers, or tune in live on Denver 8 or Zoom. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for Denver news, events, and information.